missing for days only to be found lifeless in her own room. This is one of the most mind-blowing cases that will leave you frustrated, especially with the parents involved. The tragic case of Paulette Gebara, Farah Paulette Gebara Farah, was born on July 20th, 2005 in Mexico. She was the youngest daughter of Mauricio Gebara and Lizette Farah. At the time of this tragic incident, Paulette was only 4 years old. She suffered from a condition that hindered her growth, speech, and mobility, making her heavily reliant on others for care and support. On March 19th, 2010, Paulette and her older sister went on a short trip with their father to a town in Mexico, approximately 2 hours away from their home. Her mother, Lizette, did not join them on this trip. She claimed she had plans to spend time with a friend. The three of them returned home on Sunday, March 21st, 2010. As part of her nightly routine, Lizette always tucked her daughters into bed and wished them good night. That night was no exception. On the morning of March 22nd, 2010, two nannies arrived at Paulette's home, just like any other day. They first woke up Paulette's younger sister and prepared her for school. Around 8 a.m., they sent her off to the school bus, then returned to the apartment to wake up Paulette. However, when they reached Paulette's room, they found it empty. Knowing that Paulette struggled to walk on her own, the nannies immediately checked the closet, under the bed, and other rooms in the house. But Paulette was nowhere to be found. They contacted the parents and, after a call, the nannies began searching for Paulette around the residential complex. Strangely, her parents didn't rush to call the police. It was actually one of Paulette's aunts who contacted the authorities. Investigators arrived and began inspecting the home. There were no signs of struggle, missing items, or forced entry. Everything appeared intact. No surveillance footage showed any strangers entering or Paulette leaving the house. Posters with Paulette's photo and details were put up. Her aunt also shared her disappearance on social media, hoping to raise awareness about the missing girl. A highly suspicious turn of events unfolded. On March 27, 2010, Lizette Gebara gave another interview to the media. This time, the interview was filmed inside the family's home, specifically in Paulette's bedroom. During the recording, Lizette pleaded for her daughter's return and showcased some of the girl's belongings. Among the items she pulled out from the closet and presented to the camera was a pair of reindeer pajamas. On March 31st, 9 days after she was reported missing, Paulette was found lifeless. Police discovered her body wrapped in a blanket, wedged in a narrow gap between the mattress and the wooden structure of her bed. This discovery was perplexing, as authorities had already searched Paulette's room 5 times, even using sniffer dogs on several occasions. What's even stranger is that just 4 days prior, during the interview given by her mother in the very same room, nothing unusual was noticed, no suspicious signs, not even any noticeable odor. If her body had been there all along, the distinct smell of decomposition should have been detectable. Moreover, family members had stayed at the Gebara home and even slept on Paulette's bed to assist in the search. Yet they too failed to notice anything unusual. Even the two nannies mentioned that they had changed the bed sheets multiple times without realizing Paulette's body was. The report also stated that no traces of drugs or toxic substances were found in Paulette's body that could have impaired her consciousness. The conclusion was that Paulette had moved on her bed and accidentally fallen into the gap at the end of her bed, where she suffocated and remained undiscovered for 9 days. When Paulette was found, she was wearing blue and red reindeer pajamas, the exact same pajamas her mother had displayed during the televised interview 4 days earlier. When questioned about this, Lizette Farah claimed that the pajamas belonged to Paulette's sister. For reasons
Meksiko
that
untuk
remain
mencari keberadaan
unexplained, the
Paulette yang
pajamas
hilang.
were stored among Paulette's
Tetapi
belongings,
semua itu
shown
sia-sia,
by her
tidak ada
mother
yang
as
bisa
if they were
menemukan.
hers. The authorities were never informed by the family that they had a second identical pair of pajamas, matching what Paulette wore when she went missing. Since Paulette's body was found, this second pair of pajamas has reportedly never been seen again. In the end, Paulette's parents were not charged with any crimes. The investigation concluded that Paulette's death was an accident,